Okay, folks, turn 6. This was an interesting turn. First of all, we did take Bogarus, and we took it fairly convincingly, to be honest. So we had our little pack of Malaya Druzhina plus Peshci Spearmen. We've got a pack of Voy Archers behind them. We have Capcirco the Bogatyr, who is, of course, automatically blessed since he is with our god. And we've got Rincewind in the back here. Rincewind's been doing very well for himself. He has 25 kills, has never really taken a whole lot of damage. He's good. Capcirco has 9 kills. Overall, I'm very satisfied with everybody's performance. We also have that one Christi in the middle, who is doing himself proud. A lot of militia up front, some archers in the back. We go forward, our doggos charge, the Malaya Druzhina charge, and start hacking their way through the militia. The militia break. Rincewind jumps into the rear lines and drives the enemy away. So, solid performance. We did lose our Christ. We lost 4 of our Voy Archers. The Malaya Druzhinas, the Bogatyr, and the Allfather all did very good. And you know what? Our villain even survived. That villain mercenary of ours. Good job to him. He survived. He got a kill. Fantastic work, Victor. You are just the best. We're not hiring mercenaries at this point. We're doing fine. There's 40 deer tribe there, which will be a greater challenge, but we are going to roll right on into it. I have faith in our troops. I have faith in our people. I think they can manage. Vseslav here can lead these guys, but can they reach? They cannot. So he is going to cause a little bit of unrest, but that's fine. I think we're going to have him set to preach, and we're going to recruit another round of Malaya. I pressed the wrong button again. I'm too used to WASD controls. We're going to recruit one more round of Malaya Druzhina, so we'll have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Malaya, plus a... I mean, we could recruit a couple of Christi. We'll just save it. So he's going to have, over 10 Malaya Druzhina, and then he will take those guys over to attack some other province. So the thing is, we've got barbarians there, which tend to inflict distressingly high casualties. So what we'll need to do is kind of stagger our troops a little bit so that the barbarians don't crush our cavalry while the infantry is trying to come in, and so that they don't crush Rincewind, which they might be able to do. I'm scared of barbarians at the moment. But so what we'll do is we'll take these guys up there. We'll take Vseslav with his units over this way to... We might gather everybody, like, gang up on the barbarians, beat them up, and then split up again to take these provinces. And push in this direction, because we've got a highlands, a forest. That should help out with Spires of Ascension, where we're building a palisade. We're going to move Izyaslav over there to build a lab and site search. And, so yeah, in terms of expansion, we're doing okay. This is an acceptable expansion. It's not fast, it's not great, but I'm content that I'm not going to die, and I'm going to end up with a reasonable number of provinces, which is what you want for Bogarus. On top of that, my research is quite good. I've got 54 research points per turn. We're going to hit thaumaturgy, we're going to hit our evocation goals pretty quickly, so it should be great. We're recruiting more astropelagists, just churning out astropelagists right now, because most of our money is going into the Druzhina. And yeah, we should be able to secure our flanks pretty well. Hopefully this will be a nice big province we can build a fort in, and get ready for the next adventure. In terms of other things that we actually saw, first of all, Utgard got their god and their expansion party together and took out a province here, and then they bumped with Atlantis. So Atlantis has a party of, they've got their prophet in here somewhere, right here, son of Eroic, the prophet, who is Holy 3 and is an ice captain, a snow captain. So he's got the ice protection and all that. Right now, yeah, I think they are in cold scales. Not very cold. They may be in neutral temperature scales right now. But in any case, they've got their group down here. They have the Arsatuts, I can't pronounce that word, effectively, which do a ton of magical damage, and then they've got the snow warriors with ice spears. And then on the other side, they've got all these giants, and Christine the Raven of the Underworld, along with Bergelmer the Hearse, and this scout, Prophet Scout, with his death weapons, undead leadership. Bless. The enemy, the Atlantis here, has just a poison resistance bless right now, because Atlantis's god is... Yeah, Atlantis' god is actually an imprisoned statue, so he's got an air shield and a recuperation bless, but those aren't active yet. Because they won't be active for like 36 more turns. So it's an air nature statue, which is not very great. But as we can see here, the superior Atlantean troops attack the giant troops and basically mulch their way through them. They do take some casualties because their prot isn't super high right now. And I mean, like, there's no real amount of prot that will let you survive giants completely unscathed. But they chop their way through the giant troops fairly efficiently, drive them from the field. Unfortunately, over here, this Raven of the Underworld is just casting Animate Dead again and again, summoning one undead unit at a time. And the single undead units plus the blasts that they're getting from the Prophet inflict enough attrition that the forces of Atlantis rout. So, Utgard wins, at the cost of their entire expansion party. They lost all of their Garmherdings, they lost pretty much all of their Huskarls, their Hurlers and Javelinists retreated, but they also cost Atlantis their entire expansion party. So that was interesting, and that's going to be a significant limiting factor for both of them. Both of them have lost all these relatively expensive troops. Also, Capcirco is now a hero, and he's gotten heroic battle prowess, which is fantastic. So he now gets a decreased attack skill. His attack skill is now 18, which also, of course, means that his repel skill is now very, very high. So great stuff. I love it. He's going to keep the Hero's Blade for now, but later on, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up giving him another weapon. Everyone else in the Hall of Fame right now is mercenaries. We've got William with Heroic Quickness, Sir Edward Blackfist with Unequaled Obesity, and Victor with Valor. So, hilariously, actually, he has Inspirational. So he's not a bad leader anymore. But that said, he's still not worth keeping around. I mean, I guess, like, what's he cost? Yeah, I know I'm currently employing this band. Demands 15 pounds of gold. I mean, 5 gold a turn, I guess. Yeah, sure, I'll hire him for 15 pounds of gold. Like, as long as I keep him and he stays in the Hall of Fame, he will continue to gain... he'll continue to gain more inspiration. Oh no, wait, I can't give him troops because he's a mercenary. Fuck that. Bye, Victor. It would be hilarious if I could actually give him troops to command, because, I mean, that would just be funny. So, we're gonna go take Zox. And then, like I said, we're gonna roll this way and finish off our capital circle. Our cap circle actually does have enough resources for a generally sufficient amount of Malaya Drugina recruitment, which is great. Once we hit Spires of Ascension, we'll get a little bit more there. I'm going to try to take these and push north. We're going to probably use the river as a border, since we can freeze the river with our Dominion. So we'll take the Dunes of Death, if at all possible. And that is Utgard right there. And this scout is going to sneak on down south as well. So yeah, we're doing okay. We are doing more than okay. Sorry, I just had to check to make sure my recording was still functioning properly. We have contacted Pythium, haven't made any deals with them yet, so we might end up fighting them. But I think if we have to, we can fight them relatively efficiently. And, yeah, so we'll take Zox. Then, actually, I'll tell you what, Rincewind flies in his 26 map move. So what I might do is, I might send these troops. That's +3 morale. So actually, tell you what, give all these troops to Capcirco. Have them there. Have them there with him. Them up there in a line. Them in a line there firing. Pull these guys back a little bit. I think this force can probably, especially with the Word of Power spammer, can probably take on those barbarians by themselves. So what I may do here is, especially if they get 6 more Malaya Drugina, and meanwhile, only a few Malaya Drugina are probably necessary to take on these Jaguar tribes. So let's take Visislav right over here immediately. We'll take out Zox, then Rincewind will hop down here and hit this province along with Visislav and the Malaya Drugina he has. Up here, I don't have any commanders, but I have 1 point, so I can actually recruit a Knyaz. And with him and those Malaya Drugina, we can reinforce this army to take out those barbarians. Okay, that'll be the plan. That'll hopefully kick us into 2 province per turn mode, And if we can take that, and then maybe take Hoburgdorf. I really do want Hoburgdorf. They have heavy infantry. But I want them, and nobody else is close to them. Like, nobody else is adjacent right now. So I think I can probably take that province there. I have 60 more gold, which isn't enough to bid for any mercenaries. If it was, if I could bid for mercenaries, if I could get a group of mercenaries, then I could take Hoburgdorf. And I really want to take Hoburgdorf. That's a lot of income. Its resources are shit, but it's a lot of income and a lot of recruitment points. And I can get resources by taking stuff around it. That is Patala, interestingly. So Patala may be... We'll see what they're doing. They haven't expanded north at all. They're leaving these barbarians alone, which is fine. I mean, that's perfectly acceptable and understandable at this point in the game. But they haven't expanded north at all. None of these 3 provinces have been taken by them. So I think I have a decent chance to grab Hoburgdorf before they get to it. So in any case, thanks for watching. That's turn 6. It's an interesting one, and fortunately, I have a couple of weak neighbors. I've got Patala as a weak neighbor, Pythium is a weak neighbor. I can't see their capital, I don't think. Yes, I can. There it is. We've got 3 provinces between us there. Well, I mean, we've got 3 provinces between everybody. Yeah. Pythium's a relatively weak neighbor. Patala's a relatively weak neighbor. I don't know who my neighbor to the north is, but there should, I think, be one there. And then we've got Utgard. Utgard is a strong and threatening neighbor, but we have peace. And then Atlantis should be down here, I guess. Yeah, I think that should be Atlantis. Well, we'll see what happens. So, see you in turn 7. Alright, folks, time for a little late night Dominions. It's about 1 in the morning, but I've got to get this done before tomorrow. So, it is turn 7. We have taken Zox with very, very minor casualties. So once again, fantastic work all around. The Bogatyr, the Allfather, and the Malaya Druzhina are all definitely paying their dues. Wiped out the Deer Tribe very, very easily. Thank goodness for that. Did lose a couple of Peshtsi, but you know what? They exist to die. It is okay. Just absolutely A-okay. And you can see here we actually killed the enemy command and routed them off the field. So, Victor's villains have left us, by which they mean Victor has left us. All of the current mercenaries are actually being employed, which is fair enough. They're all fairly solid mercenaries. We are splitting our forces, which might be slightly greedy, but down here we've got 5 Malaya Druzhina plus Rincewind heading down to attack these Jaguar tribe. I think they should be able to do it. And up here, we've got a total of 10 Malaya Druzhina, plus the Peshtsi Spearmen, plus the Voy Archers, all attacking the Barbarians. And I think they should be able to do this. I may take some casualties among the Malaya Druzhina, unfortunately, but you know what? Needs must when the devil drives. That's just what it is. Over here, we've got our fort still coming out. I would really like to start another fort by about turn 10, but I'd like to start it here in Hoburgdorf, if at all possible. If not possible, then I could start it in Ard. That would also be probably acceptable. Or maybe Ogden Mercs if I can get this province. But I don't think I can get that province. I think probably Pythium is going to end up with that province. Pythium has carved out a reasonable little expanse over there. Notably, Pythium is 2 provinces away from their own capital, which of course I am not yet, because they're a lot better at expanding than Bogarus is. So, you know, good for them. I'm glad. I'm happy to see it. And hopefully we remain stalwart friends. Still recruiting. I'm recruiting another Knyaz this turn, which I don't really need to do at the moment. In fact, I think I'm going to swap that out in order to double up on Astropelagists again. Astropelagists are just, like I said before, they're just going to be my early game. We've got Thaumaturgy level 2, and we're racing down to Evocation level 2, which should only be about 2 turns. That will get us Lightning Bolt, which is just a really excellent early game combat spell, if spammable, and it is spammable from Astropelagists, because Astropelagists are Air 2, and so they can spam Lightning Bolt very, very effectively. We will also want... where is it? Yes, we have Aim as well, so we could drop Aim on them, which will give those Lightning Bolts a total precision of 18, which is very accurate indeed. Down here, Izyaslav is still searching. Everyone else is just researching, which is fine. I would like to get some more Masters of Names, but I'm not too worried about it right now, especially because Masters of Names, I believe, tend to be a little bit older than Astropelagists. Like, most of my Astropelagists, in fact, I think all of my Astropelagists actually are not old, whereas my Masters of Names will tend to be old. Some of them may not be, depending on what they random, but you can see here their base start age is 56 out of 50, whereas the base start age of Astropelagist is 45. So there can be a random factor around that, but I would prefer for them not to be old. And Alchemists also tend to start old because fire magic lowers their maximum age. And of course Startsi are quite old. And so are Occultists, interestingly. So Astropelagists and Calendologists, I guess, are actually the youngest mages, which is something that I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to before. I'd like to get a Veliki Knyaz or two out at some point here, but I'm not worried about it right at the moment. So, we're trying to take 2 provinces this turn. I think we can manage it. After we take that province, we may not have the gumption to take this one immediately, so what we may have to do is wait a turn to bring down some more Malaya Druzhina, which will be fine. I guess that actually is an argument for recruiting a Knyaz. But that would remove... that would lose me a Malaya Druzhina, so no, let's not do that. Let's recruit another Skopets instead. That'll do ya. And the little bit of unrest that the Skopets cause, I don't really care about. It'll be fine. So, that is the turn. Didn't see anything really interesting this turn. Beyond that, our scouts did not catch any clashes or anything. Utgard and Atlantis, I believe, do have a non-aggression pact. That is Utgard. He's recruiting Huskarls and Jotun Huskarls, which is fair. Those are reasonable units, although probably in his position I would be recruiting Hurlers instead. Hurlers are actually pretty solid for what they are. And let's hop over here and see if we can figure out exactly how far Pythium has gotten. I would imagine if he's got these provinces that he's also got all of these, and probably some on the other side as well, but possibly not quite as far. I'm hoping his expansion hasn't been amazing, but we will see. And down here, Patala, yeah, it looks like Patala's expansion has not been great. He may have headed south, although he's blocked by a throne there. So, who knows? I think I can probably get Hobergdorf, especially since that hasn't yet been taken. But we'll see if we can maybe sneak Erd as well, or something, or Ironwood Forest, or at least Caverns of Gold. Something. Let's just put a little bit of pressure down here, and see what we can dig up. So in any case, thanks for watching. That's turn 7. I know this is still short, but the turns will be extending as time goes on and as we move into the period of the First Wars. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Alright, folks, so it's turn 8, and there were 2 battles. First, in the Land of 7 Years, we wiped out the barbarians with minimal casualties. Well, we lost most of our infantry chaff, but only 1 Malaya Druzhina. And 5 units then dispersed and retreated on their own. I don't think that actually included any of the Malaya Druzhina, but I am nonetheless down to 8, which makes me think one of them contracted a disease or something, and was then killed by it. This guy also has a damaged shield, which is a little bit unfortunate since it reduces the prot of his shield. And this guy here has developed a chest wound, so sad, but true. Down here I have a Peshtsi Spearman who retreated, and then a bunch of 6 more Malaya Druzhina, which are going to move up there. We also took Ogden Mercs, and we did it without a casualty. These Malaya Druzhina just really cleaved through the Jaguar tribe, and the Allfather, of course, did a bunch of work too. So, these guys, I'm going to do something slightly risky. Up here, these guys are going to sit tight until they get reinforced. They're going to get reinforcements from Bogarus, and then when they attack, they'll attack those Amazons with a total of 14 Malaya Druzhina and then 1 Peshtsi Spearman to sacrifice. Down here, we're going to make one additional move. We're going to attack Hobergdorf, because I think taking Hobergdorf as fast as possible is valuable. In order to do that, of course, we're going in with just 5 Malaya Druzhina and Rincewind. We're also sending Vsislav, and Vsislav is going to be up here holding, so he'll hopefully draw off some of the enemy, and that these guys and Rincewind, of course, will both attack rear. Now, what I'm hoping is that this is almost entirely militia. Even if this is 50 units, if it's like 40 militia and 6 heavy infantry and 4 commanders, we'll absolutely still win it. If it's 15 militia and 30 heavy infantry, then we might be in some deep shit. But we'll just kind of have to see. I'm hoping that it's few enough heavy infantry and that I'll be able to get back and kill the commanders quickly enough that we'll be able to rout them off and secure the province. And then I can make this province kind of my southern border, you know, build a fort there, etc. The fort in Spires of Ascension will be done this coming turn, and we can start churning out Malaya Druzhina there as well, while we also upgrade it. And then in 2 turns, or in either 1 turn or 2 turns, depending, I'm hoping to start a fort in Hobergdorf. And start working on getting things out of there. Now, the resources there will never be good. The resources there will always be dog shit, so it'll probably mostly be Voi and maybe Hristi coming out of there, but I might be able to crank it up high enough to get some cavalry out of it if I could take the Caverns of Gold. And at the very least, it's a high-income province with lots of recruitment points, so, I mean, the high income is what's important, not the lots of recruitment points. Over here, Utgard... I'm not sure that their expansion strategy is paying off. It looks like they still have a lot of untaken provinces directly next to them. They've got these, so they've got at least 4 or 5 provinces, but I know they've lost at least 1 expansion party to that bump with Atlantis. And then they got hit by bandits as well. They had a bandit event the next turn, I've been told. So I don't know how well they're doing. But honestly, this is a much stronger start than I thought I'd get. Like, this is a lot better than I was afraid of. The Armored Fist of God is actually available for hire. 25 units for 200 gold. I'm gonna try it, since I have this gold that's not being spent right now. Well, let's make that a scout real quick. And then I'm actually gonna dump this gold into trying to recruit the Armored Fist of God. And if I can, then what I'll do is I will use them. Where's the place to go? What's the play? The play with the Armored Fist of God is to use them to expand up in this zone, because I can see Erythia up there and Ulm, but this whole area seems unclaimed. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to... The Armored Fist of God, if I recall correctly, is pikemen, so they're not fantastic, but they're something. And if I can get 25 of them, plus my Malaya Druzhina, then I should be able to punch up through here, take those pale ones out, and claim a couple more provinces. So that's... Oh, that's Erythia. Oh, so Erythia is having a terrible day. Really? I mean, if Erythia's taken that, it's possible that he went straight into the water, which is fine. Like, that's a perfectly valid strategy. But it means I may be able to grab this and this. Like, if I can get all 3 of these, then I'll be in pretty good shape. And I might be able to get Lydia as well. Lashia, whatever it is. Can't really go across the river, but I can gather some forces from Spires of Ascension and go take it. Malaya Druzhina are better than heavy cavalry, so if I have a 1-to-1 ratio of Malaya Druzhina to heavy cavalry, I'll win with relatively few losses. These rivers are going to be very strategically interesting, because, like, for Utgard, Utgard can't come at me... Well, actually, no, they're not, because I have Cold Dominion. That's right, so the rivers will freeze. It's only the mountains that are going to be a problem for me. And, if I recall correctly, Cold Resistance, Snow Move... There's something... I forget if it's Mountain Survival. I feel like Snow Move also lets you cross frozen mountain passes. I don't remember if that's accurate. I know Mountain Survival does, but I don't remember if Snow Move also allows you to do that. In any case, I think if I can push up here, grab 3 or 4 provinces up that way, then I'll be in pretty decent shape. So I'll get that. I'll try and get Caverns of Gold as well. I'll really try to get Caverns of Gold. And my first war will kind of depend on like who I run into first, who's least amenable to my territorial demands. Because I'm going to be like, I need Caverns of Gold, and then up here with Erythia, I'm going to try to claim all of these. And if Erythia balks at that, or if Patala balks at me taking Caverns of Gold, then that will make the decision for me as to who I attack. Either of them, neither of them are very good in the early game. Of course, I'm also not very good in the early game, but I do at least have the Malaya Druzhina, which are quite high-quality units. They're just expensive. So if I can get 2 or 3/4 churning Malaya Druzhina out as fast as possible, I may be able to knock Erythia or Patala out of the game quickly. Now, I'd love, if at all possible, to take Utgard out of the game early, because they are high quality. They're a very strong nation, even with a bad god. But I don't know that that's going to be possible. If it was going to be possible, then the way it would be possible would be rushing down Conjuration and spamming air elementals at them with my Astropelagists. Which, to be fair, I suppose could be possible. Merely unlikely. I'll keep it in mind, though. It'll kind of depend on how badly Utgard does. But honestly, just from a geographical standpoint, I think I would probably rather form this band from Erythia to Patala, take that territory, than extend myself this way. Like, that gives me less exposure than this does. Because, like, if I expand north to south, assuming I manage to take out both these nations by some act of God, then who am I exposed to? I'm exposed to Pythium, but I'm already exposed to them. I'm exposed to Ulm, so okay, fine, Ulm, that's a new one. I'm exposed to Utgard, already exposed to them. I'm exposed to Atlantis. I'm already kind of going to be exposed to them. And then I'm exposed to whoever Patala's other neighbor over here is. If I expand over here into Utgard's territory, however, I've got... So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 neighbors. If I over here, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 neighbors minimum, plus actually I'll have 6. So expanding east to west will open me up to more wars on more fronts than expanding north to south. And in particular, if I just go north and take out this area, or just go south and take out this area, I think that'll just be a better situation overall. But in any case, that's going to be the turn. In terms of research, I'm going to run down to Conjuration 5. After that, I'll probably want to grab Evocation 5 for Storm, because I can form Storm Communions very easily. And Storm, Thunderstrike, Summon Air Elemental, etc., etc. But early Conjuration is never a bad idea, and with that Conjuration, I can recruit 1 Alchemist and start summoning Firebirds to hopefully start generating positive events for me. I have decent scales for positive events. In particular, I have Magic, which opens up the possibility of getting even more good events that spawn gems for me, which would be really, really valuable. But, of course, in order to make Firebirds viable, really, you have to have a lot of them. So, I'll tell you what. I'm actually going to do an Alchemist this turn, and that Alchemist will go around and start site searching, because right now I'm only site searching for Astral and Air, and at a fairly desultory level at that. But I want to hit Evocation 2, I want to go down Conjuration fairly quickly. My research is actually quite high for year 0. Like, a lot of nations just aren't doing any research at this point, which is also perfectly valid, and in fact, I probably don't need to be. I do want to hit Evocation level 2 this turn, but I'll tell you what, I'll send out 1 more mage, and that 1 more mage will start site searching for Air 2, so I can hopefully get more air income to fuel summoning elementals if necessary. Okay, so, we'll see how this goes. I don't know how this attack is going to go. I might, this is kind of a gamble, I might straight up lose my god and 5 Malaya Druzhina attacking Hoburgdorf and be left in a terrible position, but we'll just kind of see. We'll see how it goes. In any case, thanks for watching. I'm going to move Yakim back to the capital, and I'll see y'all in turn 9.